going on, everybody? Landon here, back again with special guest. I guess he's special. I don't know if he's a guest. Coach
Oh, my,
Jackson.
my mom tells me I'm special, so
Yeah, same with me, buddy. We got that in common. That's a good stuff, man. Uh, Jackson, we were talking before this. Um, wherever you're listening, podcast, YouTube, we were talking before, and this is the interesting topic. How do you keep your business running year round? I think that there's been a lot of false propaganda, maybe if you will, when it comes to the home service industry. A lot of us know we run seasonal businesses, or you run a seasonal business, right? But the chances are you think you're going to be exceptional. You think, hey, I do soft washing in the summer, snow is 3 feet in the winter. I'm gonna then just do snow plowing, right? I'm gonna do snow removal, and that'll make it year round. That'll extend your work period, but it's not gonna make it a full evergreen 12-month long business. I think people have been sold a lie, and I want to really touch on that. I want to give them tips, Jackson. I want to give them strategies, but I also want to clarify some things up and cut through the BS when it comes to how do we keep our home service business, which is outside, running year round. So, Jackson, I know we were talking offline. We got some good stuff to get into, man. I'll give you an example. Let's say the washing season, or the landscaping season, or the exterior painting season, anything to do outside is about 8 months, good weather, right? Wherever you are. So 8 months of good weather. Number one, what services can you add to extend that season? And how long will your season be extended for? What are some ways that people can start to work through, and how have you helped our guys add on services to their existing business?
yeah, that's that is the question, right? How do we make
Yeah.
this thing operating so that we are collecting revenue as much as possible? I'm sure if you have a home service business, you've hit a few hard months where the leads stop coming in. Where I live in the north, that'll happen around August and September. In my washing business, things will start to slow down a little bit. In the winter time, it's snowing, it's pouring rain, whatever it's doing where you live, things are going to slow down a little bit. And so we need to do our best to fill in those holes and offer people things that are appealing during those times where we can keep our crews working. And so, I'm sure you've heard this before. The basic answer is, oh, well, you do holiday lights, or you do snow removal.
Mm-hmm.
Summer, you figure out how to paint or how to stain, and you fill out those times with services that you can complete in those weather cycles, and that's appealing to your clients. And that is the easiest answer that you can give. But I think there are some harder truths about keeping your business running year round that we may want to address.
Yeah. Well, on the harder truths, it's a money issue. It's a I maybe have gotten to a wrong industry. Maybe those are some things, Jackson, that are starting to run across the guys, especially if this is your first couple of years. What is the fallacy? Because we were talking about this off camera. What's the fallacy? Like, there's a huge fallacy with running a year-round business, right? Okay, so the question is, how do I make it run year-round? Short answer: change the weather. Oh, you can't do that because you literally are not the creator. Okay, then you can't do that. So then, how can we extend the season? Okay, so I've extended my season, from that example, 8 months to 10 months by adding lights or staining or whatever that is. What is that? What's the big thing we were talking about, Jackson? I just want to get into it, man. What's the juicy thing? What is the juicy thing about a year-round business?
Well, at least in my business, like, we
Mm.
fully shut down in February. I don't even
Mm.
want to try to go get jobs in February and deal with the weather. We've done the holiday
Mm.
lights. We've made a good chunk of change doing holiday lights, which is great. And so don't get me wrong when I'm about to say what I'm about to say. There are great things you can do to keep your business trying to run year round. And if you figured that out, that's awesome. But for a lot
Mm-hmm.
of us out there, it's going to be near impossible to do the services you are known for the whole time. There are things that we can do as a business owner to fill in those gaps. And, again, and into adding on to these services, some other things that you can do, just for an example, would be trying to line up your clients. Say you're serving someone in the busy season. You say, hey, I'll give you a small discount to put you on the schedule for here. That's a great thing that we can do. We still haven't figured out a way to fill out our February schedule, right? We just haven't. And so, to be honest, what we have done is when employees come in and they ask for a job, we hire them, or we're at the interview. Before we hire them, we'll say, hey, this job is somewhat seasonal. There will be times when we will be slower. There will be times when we will be busy. February, we would like it if we didn't work at all. And so we are very upfront about that process with them. And I think the really big thing that a lot of business owners miss here, and this is going to hurt some people's feelings. This is going to hurt some people's feelings when I say this. If you have built a business where you don't have work for a month and your employees are jumping ship to hop over to another business where they're going to get paid 20, 25 bucks an hour, you have not done a good enough job of building a business that your employees are actually loyal to, that they actually want to work out and see a future at. Because I know that with my employees, we've done such a good job at creating a company culture with them. We're upfront about the slow periods. They will figure out what they need to do in those slow times. They will save money. They will get a side gig, and we will have them back when when spring comes around, because they really are dedicated to their job. And so, if your issue is, that your employees are hopping ship because, you're not busy for a little bit, well, you got a bigger issue at your business than not having work for those few weeks. There's a underlying issue there that needs to be addressed. And that is a business that really appeals to your employees. And I really think that that's the biggest thing in keeping it running year round. It's not going to be perfect. You're not going to have work lined out steady all the time. Home services are like waves. We have really busy times. We have slow times. Some companies do a better job at staying consistent, but that's just the name of the game. There's going to be ups and downs, and you need to create a business that your employees are loyal to, and they can figure it out in those times if it ever does get bad, like our February, where we're not working. We don't lose our employees every single year. If we did, our business wouldn't be sustainable. We could restart our team every year in March. So just an interesting take that I don't think a lot of people have really thought through. I think the main route that people see is, well, I need to fill out the work for that time. And yeah, you should try. You should do what you can to do that. But you have a bigger issue if if your employees are hopping ship because you don't have work for a few weeks.
Yeah, and the hard truth, right? I can hear the rebuttals in the mind, or maybe even out loud. You're maybe cussing out Jackson. I'm so busy. I've done my best. I've done everything I know, and it's not there. These younger generations, man, those guys that it's my company. They're not gonna work like I do, right? And I've done everything in my power. It's their fault. If that's you right now, two things need to happen. Number one, stop. You're a grown man. You're a grown woman. Don't be blaming anybody else for your problems, especially somebody younger than you. That's why you're in a position of leadership. Number two, you should probably seek outside help, because if you don't have enough time to invest in your company, invest in core values, invest into hiring and training the right people while growing your business, not just running your business, not just being busy, doing jobs and answering phones and sending emails and quotes, but actually growing the business sustainably and spending time with your family, you should probably get out of your own way, and probably look at another option. Coach, a mentor, a system, a process, whatever that is. Yes, we're biased. Of course we are. But you need to figure something out. Because Jackson's right. You think trying to make a business run year round is hard? Try make a business that doesn't run year round. Like Jackson said, in every February slow, then you're restarting every single year. You're not going to be able to go 10 years. That's going to be the real issue. The question isn't how do I keep my business running year round? The question should be, how do I keep my business running for years to come?
And how do you keep your team together?
Exactly.
Your team is your business.
Mm-hmm.
It's absolutely your business. And if you lose your team every year, well, then you're building your business up again every single spring or whenever your slow season, ends. So just it's a strange take. And I'm guessing not a lot of you thought that was what was going to be the discussion here. But no, that's honestly what I believe. And I think the people that do make it run year round and they're consistent, it's great. If you live far north in Canada and you're in snow removal, you're going to do great. But I've also heard people in snow removal where they lose a ton of money. It doesn't snow enough. They have these certain insurances and overhead costs, and they end up losing money. And so, it's a difficult thing. If you figured out how to do it and you're consistent, congratulations. Like, that is huge. Not everyone's going to be there, and you don't need to have a successful business. You really don't. What you do need to do is make sure that you keep that team together any way that you can.
Absolutely. And that's the most important part. You look at we'll use a sports analogy, maybe football team, NFL. Let's go the Eagles, right? They're killing it this year. They won the Super Bowl last year, I believe, in 2022. I hope I'm right. I'm either going to get flamed if I'm not. Anyways, they're really good. You see those years where they win and you're like, man, how the heck they came out of nowhere, that team, and won the Stanley Cup, the Super Bowl, whatever it is. They came out of nowhere. It's like, man. And then next year they're nowhere near. What happened? The personnel changes, the culture changes, or something about their system changes. You look at the great dynasties, your Michael Jordans, your Bulls. That team really didn't change. The core, the guidelines, the principles, the head, the CEO, Phil Jackson, the coach, you as the CEO did not change, right? Not a lot, the integral part. So again, we look at New England Patriots, Bill Belichick, Tom Brady, right? Yes, other pieces changed, but the two main keys did not really change. They had guys with them for years. No different than your business. So I hope that analogy kicks off. Add additional services and figure out why people are leaving your company, if that is, and get out of your own way, get some help that you need.
Man, and I want to make another point on here too while we're talking about this for everyone out there. I hear a lot in the industry, oh, I had these 2 helpers for this year. I had, these 3 helpers. I have got this helper. It's like, man, a helper doesn't sound like someone that's going to be creating good chemistry on your team for years to come. If you start every spring by getting helpers, and I'm going to put that in quotations, well, then you're not going to have chemistry rolling into the next year. You're not going to have the same team. That's what's making it so hard for you to run year round, is because you have these people that aren't committed. Once you start gaining technicians that have careers that stick around for more than a season, well, that's when you can grow your business. No one's growing a business with helpers. And if you're using that word, just throw it out now. If you ever want to have a successful business, you will never hear a multi-million dollar home service business referring to any of their employees as helpers. So, I mean, ditch that word right now and pick some technicians that have careers that can build chemistry on your team and stay for a year, 2 years, 3 years. That's when you see growth. That's when you get people committed to your vision. And that's how ultimately you can make your company run year round and not have to start from square one in the spring every single year.
Such a good point, Jackson. What did Tommy Mello say in his book? I have it right here. Build a business where everybody wants to win. Biggest thing. What is it? Don't call them he doesn't even call them employees. He calls them members or team members.
Yeah, or
family. Same thing.
Something I can't.
Yeah, exactly. Like, such a good point with the helper thing, Jackson. So good. So good. Because that's centered around you, the business owner. Right? And there's no business that works outside that runs year round centered around one dude. It's just not going to happen 99.9% of the time. And if you have figured it out, like, man, freaking rights. We're happy. We're pumped. We're not talking to you. We're talking to the 99% that are struggling with this.
Yeah.
And that's just what it is.
Man, that word makes me want to vomit. every time.
It's such a good point,
Like, what
man.
are you
It's
helping?
such a good point. Yeah, literally though, right? And
Oh,
it's
they're a
like,
team member, man. You need a team member. It's a
yeah.
team. It's not you.
And I've heard it on the phone, Jackson, like some of the stuff, like I'll be on a phone, like talking with somebody on the job. And by the way, I do not like this at all because you're not focused. Like you're telling me that you are that busy, and people will say, yes, I am that busy. And it's like, then what are your priorities, my friend? If you're that busy to where you cannot take a 20-minute phone call and be undivided attention, something's out of whack. But anyways, we won't go there just yet. We'll save that for another day. And I'll hear them. And all it is get me this, do that. Like, no wonder you're having employee issues. Like, no wonder you're so busy. Like, just look at the viewpoint you take. He's a helper,
Yeah,
right?
they're
I got a
helping. They're not
guy.
a team member building something
Yeah,
with you.
exactly. I got a guy, got a guy. Got this dude, like I'm like, come on, man,
It's terrible.
and then you hear the guys that have they use the verbiage, they have that view and everything's mindset, like what a godsend this person is, like just so good, invaluable member of my team, which is going to lift more people up. And I know that maybe this is just talking about employees now, and it's like, hey man, how's this keeping a business running year round? But like that, if you have that mindset of I'm building a New England Patriots, I'm building a dynasty, I'm building a company that's going to be around years to come, that can survive. It can survive a few winter months, or it can survive 3 years of COVID. Doesn't matter. It can survive. That methodology is going to win all day long versus the guy who can run year round, that has a helper, that is hiring constantly and cannot find good people. And chances are 100% of the time comes down to you, the CEO. If you're burning through guys or you just can't find somebody right, you guys in America, sorry, Jackson, 350 million people. Okay. You cannot tell me and sit here and say that all the good ones are taken up. And my generation, I'm 25, that my generation doesn't want to work. They're all lies. They're lies. Okay. There are integrous people out there, young people who want to work, want to contribute. You just have to give them the reason. And it goes far beyond, yeah, I got a 12-month long business. So yeah, this is more of a discussion, Jackson. So yeah, hopefully this has been laid back. We were hammering. So we apologize, but not really. I'll apologize because I'm a Canadian. Jackson doesn't have to. He's American. So that's how y'all operate. Anyways, Jackson, any last things, man, like you want to touch on with how to keep your business running year round? Any last final ending thoughts, if you will?
Yeah, I mean, do what you can to fill those gaps. Talk to your clients about fitting them in your slow season. Giving them a bit of a discount, adding on a service here. But I don't want you going and adding a million services to your business, trying to scramble to stay operating year round, because then the core of your business gets lost. You want to be a specialist in a few things. You don't want to be a generalist, like a handyman service, doing everything for your clients just to get by in the winter, because then the real reason you exist gets a little lost, so I'd rather see you pick a couple things that can extend your season for a few months, and then be honest with your employees. Let them know that you are going to experience those ups and downs, and make sure that you've built a business that is appealing enough, is attractive to these people, to your employees. It's attractive enough for them to stick around, to figure it out in those months, to have money saved, to go work on the side so they can come back and kick butt when it gets busy again. Because that's the only way that you're going to win if you're riding these waves, is your employees need to ride them with you. They need to buckle up and get on the roller coaster as well, in a sense.
Yeah. And it's such a good point, man. You just inspired another thought on this. You maybe this is how to look at it. We have a business that generates 10 months of revenue per year. We have a business that can run year round because I have 12 months of revenue in the bank, because I run a profitable business, because I'm not hiring all the time, because I'm charging right, because I have services that people actually want, and I have effective crews trained on them, and I'm not doing everything. Maybe that's another way to look at it too, with that. But guys, like, and gals, I know that there's a few girls listening. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be biased or sexist or whatever, if you will. do better. Like you can do better. And it all starts with getting out of your own way and getting the help that you need. Which is going to be a shameless plug, Jackson. You've heard me say it again, Jackson. You've heard me say it 1,000 times, everybody listening. We can only help if you allow us to. Link at the end of bottom of the podcast, bottom of YouTube. I'm going to rip by this real quick. Don't know if we like each other. Don't know if we can help you. Those are 2 questions we have to figure out on our call. So book that call. It's not going to be pressure. You're talking to me. You know, I'm not a pressure guy. Jackson, have I ever pressured you into doing something you wouldn't do? Well, don't answer that. Yeah, don't answer that. Don't answer that, Jackson. Yeah, we've been in Vancouver, man. Remember, okay? So anyways, guys, hit the link below. Jackson, I appreciate your time, as always, man, and for talking about this niche idea, I guess, if you will. This idea that a lot of the times is move, add a service, and that's how you make the business year round, but taking this contrarian approach to it. I appreciate that. It's been fun.
Unpopular opinion, but
yeah,
it's mine.
I love it. I love it. Well, everybody take care. Hope this finds you well, and we'll talk with you soon. Okay. Bye-bye.